If you've been with us since the beginning of the year, when we started studying Philippians in order to help our church grow in gospel gratitude, I hope that you've just been amazed at how relevant and timely this study has been for our church. You might almost have to come to the conclusion that there is a God who is sovereignly working out every single detail for His glory and our good. I mean, if you think back over the past few sermons from Philippians chapter 1, it's almost like Philippians has been a play-by-play playbook for our church over the first month and a half of 2022. And this letter was written 2,000 years ago. Just stunning. Well, I think you'll find that the same is going to be true this week as we turn our attention to Philippians 1, verses 27 to 30. Our focus this Sunday is going to be making the gospel the center of everything, which comes from the opening line of verse 27, which says, "Only let your manner of life be worthy of the gospel of Jesus Christ." Now, if that sounds boring to you or trite, because you've heard this a million times when you've come to church, well, let me try and illustrate why this is such great news and why it's worthy of our focus and not so trite. Have you ever found yourself at any point in your life where you thought, oh my goodness, I have so many problems. How in the world am I ever going to get out of this mess? If I just focused on changing one of these things, it would take me forever. You ever found yourself there? If you've ever found yourself in that kind of situation, it's not a very hopeful place to be. But the good news is the gospel has answers to all of these problems, and they come in a much sweeter package than what we might have first realized. Starting this Sunday, we're going to start to unpack how if we make the gospel the center of everything, then everything will change. Verse 27 becomes a topic sentence that leads into all that's going to follow from chapter 1, verse 27 through chapter 2, verse 18. And the good news is, even though we have all these problems, we might have financial problems, relational problems, emotional problems, employment problems, and on it goes. Even though we have all of those problems, what Paul helps us understand in verse 27 is that there is really just one thing that's going to make the difference in all of that, and it's living worthy of the gospel. So this Sunday, we're going to begin to unpack this by focusing on three recentering truths of the gospel. The first recentering truth is that the gospel is worthy of all my actions, all my conduct, everything being centered on the gospel. The second recentering truth about the gospel is that it's worthy of us courageously standing up for the gospel, which God has given us a wonderful opportunity as a church to do that over the past couple months. Then the third recentering truth is we're going to look at how the gospel is worthy of any conflict that will inevitably come when we focus on the gospel. We'll even see that those conflicts are gifts from the Lord. So I hope you'll join us this Sunday, and then you'll come ready to dig into the Word of God, and that you'll be praying that God would really help you understand the worth of the gospel. Because when we understand the worthiness of the gospel, that's when we'll get it into the center of our lives. That's when everything will change for His glory.